If you like this video, click like. If you want to continue to follow our adventure, hit subscribe. Your support would be greatly appreciated. Hello, House on the Road subscribers and followers. You know what today is, don't you? Yep, it's Friday. You know what that means, don't you? Yep, it's Easy 5 Friday. And today's topic is the 5 realities of living in a pop-up camper. This is not an inclusive list because I just wanted to put it into the 5. There are a lot more things that I could discuss about the realities of living in a pop-up camper. Number 1, the canvas is not going to rot away. I see it all the time. Actually, on Facebook just today, someone said, I'm going to park my camper. I got an all summer pass reservation or whatever to this campsite. And I just want to go park my camper over there and we're going to camp on the weekends. Do I have to lower the camper every day? And most of the responses, or some of the responses, I guess, talked about the canvas is going to rot if you do that. Look, here's the thing. I have a 1970 pop-up camper, so I can't talk intelligently about all campers. That's not the thing. But in this camper, the canvas hasn't even faded. It is as solid as the day we opened it up when we bought it. That canvas is 47 years old, 48 years old, and it looks perfect. It's a great canvas. That being said, I am trying to Flex Seal the canvas. I'm spraying Flex Seal on it, and I know a lot of people think that's an insane idea. So, I mean, I've heard some people call me some really bad terms regarding the Flex Seal of the canvas, but it has worked out marvelously. The mold isn't growing on it. It's works very well. Now, let's assume for a minute that your canvas does rot away. Let's say it lasts 10 years. I don't know. I don't know how long they're talking. Does it rot immediately? If it is, you might want to talk to the manufacturer of your camper and say, look, this is terrible. But if you're talking 10 years, and you go spend $800 on a replacement canvas, that's no more expensive than a new roof on your house. It's actually a lot cheaper than a new roof on your house. And you have to replace that. I'm not sure why people think that when you move into a pop-up camper, it has to last permanently. It's not going to. None of the travel trailers do. All of them you have to do work on. So, no, the canvas hasn't just rotted away on it. Number 2. A lot of people all the time say, oh, you got to watch out for sticks poking holes through your canvas. I wouldn't live in one because it's going to poke holes in the canvas. Okay. Yeah, I guess the potential is there, but we've had sticks fall, big ones. Not huge, but, you know, good-sized sticks fall on the canvas. And I saw one fall just the other day, went straight down right on top of the bunking, and I thought, well, that's an immediate thought was, it's a goner. I'm going to have to patch it today. And it landed, boom, and it just fell flat. It didn't even come close to puncturing the canvas. So, I mean, and this happened many times. That was the first one I actually watched. So, I don't think that this is as fragile as everybody makes it out to be. Again, I heard somebody say to me a while back, a stick fell on the top of my travel trailer and poked a hole in it. So, the risk is there whether you're in a travel trailer or you're in a pop-up camper. This is just the reality of us living in a camper for a year and had many sticks fall on a camper. And we're relatively safe. I'm not saying it won't happen. It's just not as fragile as everybody's making it out to be. Number 3. Mold growth is a problem. Mold growth has been a problem from the get-go. It's just there. Now, that being said, I have talked to people who own travel trailers, and the mold growth in travel trailers is just as difficult to deal with as it is in a camper. Look, I live in an apartment, rented an apartment, $800 a month. It should have been mold free, but it wasn't. I mean, I think that's actually where I got mold poisoning from, was from this apartment. It grows. It is there. There is issues with mold growth. And yes, it is in the camper. But it is a lot easier to clean in the camper. I mean, you just scrub it off with some bleach and it's gone. Number 4. Okay, I get it. I was just as concerned of heating the pop-up camper as everybody else. When Carolyn said we were going to go back to Missouri in wintertime, I thought, well, we're done. There's just no way to do it. And I am absolutely surprised how easy it was to heat the camper. It was absolutely easy. I mean, everybody said, oh, you got to have reflectix, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and you got to do. And we didn't. What we did was we hung some blankets on the wall to just kind of seal up the holes. It's an old camper, so you have holes on the top and the bottom and where things join together. And I don't know if the new ones are like that, but this one definitely doesn't. So we sealed those up with blankets. We hung some blankets up in the ceiling of the bunk ends. And we heated it with a ceramic heater. It's about a 6 to 8 inch ceramic heater. And we heated it down to 12 degrees. And the thing is I'm not sure that was the limit of the heater. It might have been able to do a little bit more. That being said, if it hadn't, we'd have turned on the propane too. So it's not that difficult to heat a pop-up camper. I remember going to South Dakota with my father in like August or September, and we had to heat it. I mean, the temperatures weren't extremely cold, and he used a ton of propane trying to heat it. Well, here we were in Florida this year, and it got cold. It snowed one time. It was always in the 30s and 40s, and I think we used less propane well, I know we used less propane than he did in that travel trailer. We used the Mr. Heatable portable buddy. We blocked off one of the bunkins, whichever one we were not using at the time, and it heated just fine. Number 5. Okay, this one I agree with. They are more difficult to break down. To break down your campsite, I mean, it is. It's a dreadful thing that I really dread doing all the time. You got to pull everything out, all your storage, all of it, and you got to put it on the floor. The shower tent has to be put away. All the things outside. Now we have a tent for storage outside. That has to be broke down. And there is a lot to breaking down a pop-up camper, admittedly. There are a lot of benefits. I'm not saying this is, the reason you shouldn't get one or live in one. I'm just saying that there are a lot of difficulties breaking down the pop-up camper that you don't have in a van or travel trailer. Those you can pretty much put your stuff in, and that's it. It's done. This one, when you break it down, you got to put everything down on the floor, and when you set it up, you got to put everything back. There is just a lot of work to it. So there is a disadvantage to that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.